Hiyo, Zahn is on, and here to watch. Okay, I actually have to read this off because there's a lot going on. The Space Station 13 review. Help. Clown grief, please ban me. Trademark. What the heck is that title? And this is by. Oh Lord, what is that name? How the heck do I pronounce that? SsethTzeentach? SsethTzeentach? We're here to watch Seth do a review of Space Station 13. I don't know what that is. I have never heard of it. So this is going to be completely blind. I don't even know what to decipher from like the thumbnail. I think with that being said, let's get to it.
Hey people, Seth here. Today
Hello.
I'll be covering a very niche, very infamous, and very autistic game that everyone's asked me to cover.
Oh, my
since
favorite.
day one. A game where you and many other real, living people with questionable social intelligence roleplay together on the worst space station in the universe, where aliens, shapeshifters, and traitors working for rival corporations are the least of your concern, where the great...
What's that? Wait, was that a xenomorph I saw up there? What the heck is this game? It has to be about a space station, but oh boy. You're telling me that there are other players on this?
A game where you and many other real, living people with questionable social intelligence...
That sounds about right. Oh boy.
Are the least of your concern. Where
See,
the
look at that.
greatest threat
This
to your
whole
own existence
xenomorph.
are your own crew members. Hungry?
Oh boy.
Where the
Okay, this sounds like a very interesting game. Okay. Alright, Seth. You have made your pitch and I am interested. So please tell me more.
greatest threat to your own existence are your own crew members. Hungry? Come to the station canteen, where the food is definitely poisoned. Injured?
Oh.
Head on down to medical, where half the medication has been relabeled as happy pills. Discouraged?
Oh my.
You can try taking a painkiller instead. But it wasn't a painkiller, it was LSD. Having a bad trip? Don't worry, there's a security officer nearby to help, but he can't respond because he was murdered and replaced by a genetically modified monkey wearing his uniform. Hallucinating? Keep calm and focus on what's real. Unfortunately for you, the supermassive black hole expanding towards you is not a hallucination. It is, in fact, very real.
Oh my god.
Welcome to Space Station 13. Space Station.
Oh my god. A literal black hole. What the hell is this? What the heck is happening? What is this game? I feel like I constantly need to like rewind just so that I can understand what the heck is happening. I don't know how else to put it other than this game feels like an AI scripted all of this and then just put it out. Like there was no human intervention and this was the result. I mean, I'm interested. Don't get me wrong. But like, what even is this game? Your role play, whatever different roles you got going on a space station. Oh my god, what is happening? What in the world?
Keep calm and focus on what's real. Unfortunately,
You're literally playing as a spider in this. Are we sure that this game is not just a massive trip? Oh, and how could I forget the black hole?
Welcome to Space Station 13. Space Station 13 has a very simple premise. Everyone
Is that
has
a
job.
lightsaber?
Your objective? Do your best to delay the station's inevitable destruction, either at the hands of antagonists or at the hands of your own incompetent crew. Normally, I give a final score for a game at the end of a video. Not this time. Space Station 13, 10 out of 10, amazing, spectacular. Don't play it. If I'm being perfectly honest...
Don't play it? You give it a perfect score, but then immediately follow up by don't play it? Wait, what does that say? The emergency shuttle has been called. It will arrive in 10 minutes. Justification? I stubbed my toe. Oh, fuck. Call it. Oh, this is great. This looks like it's gonna be quite the journey.
If I'm being perfectly honest with you, Space Station 13 is a fantastic game, but I genuinely don't recommend you play it. Why? Because the engine it's running on is probably older than you.
Oh my god. Okay, so it's one of those games. Gotcha. I mean, if you couldn't tell just by looking at it, I guess. I suppose it does seem to be one of those games.
and you play it. Why? Because the engine it's running on is probably older than you, because the interface is a convoluted mess, and only usable because me and every other autistic chimpanzee who plays this game has committed the hotkeys to muscle.
Oh my god, why is there so much screaming in the background? What? What does that say? What? By the grace of Abdul, offer the blood of this infidel and spill it for the love of Allah. What in the world is happening?
And every other autistic chimpanzee.
Oh my god. What? No. Oh my god. What? I'm gonna end up saying the same things over and over again, because, like, genuinely, every cut, every time we switch, something crazy is happening. And if it's not happening on screen, it's happening on in the text chat there.
Chimpanzee who plays this game has committed the hotkeys to muscle memory because
I feel
of the
that.
insane time investment and commitment required for you to learn a single role, and because, to be perfectly honest, the servers can't handle all of you. At best,
Oh
you
my.
can handle like 30 extra players before you grind the servers to a halt.
Oh no. Okay, so it doesn't have much room for servers, or the servers don't have much room for a lot of players. Gotcha. Understandable. I would probably gatekeep in the same manner if that was the issues that was being presented to me.
For all these reasons, Space Station 13 always was and always will be a niche title, and maybe that's for the
Fair
best.
enough.
But I can offer you something else. I've already killed your hopes and dreams of playing the game, so instead.
What in the world is that clown? That is a clown, right? There's no mistaking it. Also, I could barely see it when I have it paused, but every time I look at the window, it hits me with nostalgia. Like, is this Windows 7?
Let me share some stories of my wonderful experience with Space Station 13. These stories span several years and several different servers, the names of which will forever stay anonymous because I respect their privacy, and because I've received threats from some of the more colorful servers to not mention them by name.
Fair enough. I too would like my own bit of anonymity.
Or else, what's gonna happen if I don't comply? Are they gonna hire a Bitcoin assassin to run me
Oh
over?
no, not Bitcoin. Anything but Bitcoin, please.
Ability scooter? Is he gonna stab me with his insulin pen? I don't know. But between you and me, I hate having cum delivered to my mailbox and would prefer to keep it that way.
Ugh. Keep your genetic material to yourself.
Anyway, I remember the first time playing Space Station very vividly. My friends told me to download it and hop on some shitty server. It had furries and erotic roleplay.
I'd say that's pretty par for the course. If there's furries, there's gonna be roleplay. And if there's roleplay, there's gonna be furries. Also, I probably shouldn't pause on this for much longer because I don't want this Khajiit to be on my screen for any longer than I have to.
More on that later. I enter the round as an assistant, my job to give assistance, and to get my hands burnt off trying to hack into places I don't have access to. As I'm screwing around with airlock wires, my friend comes running down the hallway, dragging someone's unconscious body. Frantically, he tells me, "Seth, quick, can you open this door?" Sensing the urgency in his voice, I do. He throws the body inside and sprints away. The airlock closes. 3 seconds later, something explodes. What the fuck was that? I ask. Oh yeah, I fed him potassium and water pills. It takes a while to metabolize. My friend had just murdered a man in cold blood by turning his body into a living, ticking potassium bomb. As soon as the man's digestive juices cracked through the potassium tablet, it reacted violently with the water in his stomach and exploded, killing him from inside out. After such a horrific display of homicide, I realized, hey, this game's pretty good.
Yeah, no. That would certainly be my first thought if I were to witness such a thing. It's like, damn, that person just exploded from eating a potassium pill. What other weird stuff can we do?
Fast forward a few weeks and I'm learning roles, calling shots, and ignoring every single rule of a server.
Sounds about right.
Also ignored every single rule of medicine. I was a surgeon, top of my class,
Oh
destined to
no.
go where no licensed professional ever
Oh my god, you're just dragging. Is that a monkey? Why is it bleeding?
has. Also, my friend's girlfriend started playing with us. To put it bluntly, she wasn't very good, but she was
Well
very
then.
interested in progressing the medical field in any way possible. Cargo had just delivered us some complimentary pizza. And
Ooh, pizza. Some of that looks kind of gross though, but okay.
as thanks for patching
What is that? Hold on, wait. What is that on the pizza box lid? What is that? It was moving.
up their boys after they got a little too intimate with the xenomorphs on mining station. Brilliance flashed before my eyes. My pupils widened. I started physically sweating because she said the words I've always dreamt of hearing. Please turn me into a pizza. And
Please turn me into a pizza. Bruh. I'm not gonna lie. I feel those words in my soul. If someone could turn me into a pizza, I would probably be asking for the same thing.
And so, I got to work. Nurse, get me my scalpel, tweezers, protractor, bone gel, and the rest of the unfinished pizza. One horrified clown watched in the operating theater as I...
Wait. What? What? What do you mean? What horrified clown watched?
One horrified clown watched in the operating theater as I cleanly hacked off and cauterized her hands and feet. I opened the pizza box and began attaching her new cheesy limbs. Help! Sec to surgery, the clown blurted out. He's turning her into a Papa John.
He's turning her into a Papa John's. No! I can't.
Surgery, the clown blurted out. He's turning her into a Papa John.
Oh my god! That. Oh my god. That's gonna live rent free in my mind. He's turning her into a Papa John.
The head of medical stormed in with a host of security officers to detain me, but they were too late. Her hands...
Wait, what did that say? Pagliacci? Pagliacci? Is Pagliacci the anal clown? Bro. We're barely even a quarter into the video and I'm already dying.
Too late. Her hands and feet had already been replaced. Surprisingly, she could walk just fine on a pair of pizza feet, but her lack of opposable pizza thumbs meant that she couldn't really hold anything, let alone pick them up in the first place. However, her pizza hands did make for a convenient and portable source of nutrition.
But I mean, once you eat once you eat your pizza hands, then what do you have left? Do you just grow more pizza out of your hands? Do you become a pizza tree? A living pizza tree?
Despite her numerous protests that
what the fuck are you doing? Wait!
Convenient and portable source of nutrition. Despite her
Evelina Lee declares, what the fuck are you doing?
Numerous protests that she consented to.
It's okay. I asked faux Ardis. Sneezes.
The surgery, the head of medical demoted me on the spot and banned me from ever practicing medicine, claiming that you can't consent to being a pizza. I was thrown in jail for the rest of the night. Clearly, there was no appreciation for the arts on this station, so for the rest of the round, clearly there was no appreciation for the
fuckers. Stop. Meanwhile, they're beating the hell out of you.
Arts on this station. So, many rounds later, me and my friends found a new purpose, cleaning up the server, one erotic furry roleplay at a time.
Oh god! Oh god, no, please. Not the ERPs. The erotic roleplay? Oh no. Okay, so I guess we're getting into that, huh?
purpose, cleaning up the server, one erotic furry roleplay at a
No.
time.
I don't want to read that. Under any other circumstance, I would probably be reading the text on the screen, but I don't think I want to read that. It's pretty cringe reading someone else's ERP messages.
Using telecommunications and meta-communications, I expertly
Was that? Oh god, Skype! You're hitting me right in the nostalgia.
pinpointed areas of high homosexual intent, namely the dorm rooms and the showers, as two
Ah yes, the two likely places to find homosexual activity. High homosexual intent.
of high homosexual intent, namely the dorm rooms and the showers. As two Khajiit-looking catmen meet privately with one another, they will inevitably start writing words such as, "Ooh, Mayak has a barbed prickly surprise for you, my friend," and, yes, not me with your thick Tajiran trunk." This is completely unacceptable.
Oh my god. Oh my god, no, please, enough with the ERP, bro.
Once an act of high homosexual intent is in motion, several of our men would mobilize as they groan, moan,
Was that Isaac Clarke?
several of
Oh my god, it is. Look at it.
Come back here and scare me!
our men would mobilize as they groan, moan, and spit out hairballs on each other. A security officer would barge in, flashbang the feline fornicators, and tag team baton them into submission before another officer handcuffs them to the bed. On the other side of a contaminated dorm room, our team's atmospheric technician sets explosive C4 charges against the station glass. Quickly, we evacuate the biohazard exclusion
No.
zone and seal the airlocks. Romeo and Juliet barely
What the fuck is going
have enough
on?
time to recover from the flashbang before the charges detonate, depressurizing the room and sucking their bodies out into the black vacuum of space. Another job well done. Many explosive decompressions later, erotic roleplay was considered a real occupational hazard. The Tajiran Catboys
Oh my god, what the hell is this?
got creative, started doing group sessions instead. But these
Oh,
were
no.
quickly crushed by my friend playing the best roboticist I've ever seen in my life. The airlock doors to
my
their
God.
sodomy chamber were
You're piloting like a mech or power armor or whatever.
welded shut to prevent interruptions. So he drilled right through them with a gigantic combat mech. The air inside was heavy with a sickly sweet smell of wet fur balls and toxoplasmosis. The furries didn't even have time to react before he started unloading shell after shell of flashbang grenades. And thus, we all got banned. We paid the price. But to see half a server get flashbanged unconscious for 10 minutes straight, priceless. The server didn't last long anyway. The admin's mom shut it down as soon as she saw the electricity bill. So me and my friends went on to enrich other servers. I even got good at being a chemist. In other words, I always stole the syringe gun at the start of a round and filled it with lethal doses of chloral hydrate. For my own protection, of course.
Uh-huh, I'm sure.
I also gave whatever chemical anyone requested, which gives me some moral ambiguity and 2 degrees of separation from any pranks or murders that took place as a result of said chemicals. If a clown asks for space lube, he's gonna get space lube. One time, a clown managed to lube the entire hallway outside of medical, all the way to departures. Now, departures is usually the place where the escape shuttle docks to get us out of our quickly burning heap of a station. However, if there's no call for a shuttle, departures is completely empty, besides the airlock, which the clown had hacked open. Several
Oh no, I see where this is going.
people came running through medical, slipped on the space loop, and accelerated themselves face first into the infinite vacuum of space. Security
I'm not gonna lie, that's some shit that I would probably do for real. Oh no. Okay, maybe I shouldn't play this game. I mean, does this game even still exist at this point? Like, for God's sakes, the layout is literally like Windows 7. Ain't no way this game is somehow still around. And if it is, I don't know if I would want to play it, simply because I would be such a menace in there.
figured out it was the clown, and in true security fashion, also slipped on the space loop.
What was that? These are some fucking good donuts.
True security
I have a feeder fetish, to be honest.
What?
Bruh. No. Why? It's always... Why are there so many freaks here? Some freaky ass players.
fashion also slipped on the space loop. With most of the crew floating around dead in space, the station had to be evacuated. He was later banned from playing clown ever again. Several rounds later, I finally spawned as a traitor.
What is that? What was that?
Specifications decrypted. Welcome to the Syndicate.
And I had no idea what I was doing. But I wanted my first time to be special. Conveniently, an assistant comes in, bleeding all over, because he was probably trying to break into the armory without insulated gloves. His character sprite had maximum melanin and an afro. His roleplay friendly name was Madick. An
Of course.
idiot, but a useful idiot. There were no medical staff on hand except me, so I said, hey, I know a little bit of surgery, let me fix you up. I put him under general anesthetic and took out my syndicate PDA. With this, I can discreetly teleport a few traitor items into my inventory to help me achieve my objective, which in this case was murdering the head of security. I ordered 2 sets of voice-activated explosives, which trigger upon hearing the recorded code phrase. I set this to the word most likely to be spoken by this mentally retarded human being. Can you guess what that is?
Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. Please. Let's not.
Is I surgically opened his ass and inserted the first of the explosives. Then I lodged the second. Surgically opened his ass and inserted the first of the explosives. Then I lodged the second one neatly inside his chest cavity. Closing them up, I took off the anesthetic and began to put my plan in action. I would
Meanwhile, eating pizza.
Closing them up, the anesthetic, and began to put my plan in action. I would arm this simple-minded moron with illegal weaponry, with the hopes that security would detain him on possession charges. I gave him all the LSD, all the chloral hydrate syringes, and an entire spray bottle of space lube. I had expertly equipped him to be the ultimate griefing machine. Proud of my work, I gave him a hug and set him loose on the world. But just before he left medical, he turned around and said, "Thanks, nigger."
Well, that backfired a little bit. Would it be appropriate to say that that was karma? But karma for whom?
And we both exploded. My overtime playing antagonist went about just as well. Once I started as the leader of a cult, our objective was to seize control of the station and sacrifice our mortal bodies to summon a physical manifestation of our dark god. However, I wasn't very good at it, and neither were my servants. We found a nice, quiet, and most importantly, abandoned bar near the north end of the station, which we began redecorating with our own blood.
Oh yay, I love putting a bunch of demonic symbols and sigils on the ground. Ah yes. That's the only way to properly display that we are a cultist, that we are a cult.
You see, cultists need to learn a set of ancient words that's randomly generated every round. If you arrange them in the right order, you can perform different spells and rituals to advance your goals. We didn't get far, because the most dangerous thing to an incompetent cult is a single crew member doing their job. The fucking janitor found
Oh no. The janitor caught y'all? Oh my god, the fucking janitor found us.
We tried to negotiate, convince him that it's actually crayon and not blood all over the floor, but that didn't work, so we tried to murder him instead. That didn't work either. He used his mop to slip us with soapy water and ran off to call security. As you can see,
I mean, janitors really do be like that sometimes. Why do you think they gotta put the wet floor signs whenever they do their jobs? That shit's dangerous.
I'm not very proficient at being a traitor. More often, I find myself being abused by traitors. Some of the worst offenders in this regard are definitely wizards, since wizards have a bad tendency to sexually abuse me as well. Not
Oh my, no, don't do that. What? Also, what the
wizards,
hell is
since
that?
wizards have
What the hell is that?
a bad tendency to sexually abuse me as well. Not too long ago, me and my friends played a round that was already in progress. As soon as we entered, we realized something was very wrong. An announcement played on the radio. Penis Inspection Day is in effect. All crew members must report to Doc Johnson for their mandatory penis inspection. Doc Johnson was, very clearly, a wizard. I knew what was coming, and yet I resigned myself to fate and went to medical reception. Doc Johnson was overjoyed to have new patients. He led me to a private room, asked me
Ignore
if I was
these.
circumcised, and told me that I passed the inspection with flying colors. What a surprise, I thought. He's not actually gonna grief me. But I was wrong. As I turned away to leave, he blew off my ass magically. Hey.
What?
Wrong. As I turned away to leave, he blew off
Arsenal.
my ass magically.
Oh no, don't cast the spell to blow out my ass. Pause.
Hey, it's wizardry. I ain't gotta explain shit. Anyway, Doc Johnson is a terrible doctor. He left me bleeding on the floor as he took my ass cheeks and
Oh my god, he
used them as a
actually... Oh my god, he actually took his ass and made it into a hat? Bro. What?
hat. Highly unprofessional, would not recommend. A round of Space Station 13 can be very intense. At other times, it can be very slow-paced and almost relaxing. If you're not a traitor and you don't have anything urgent to handle, you can always just roleplay and get comfy in a bar, while the piano plays anime songs and the jukebox plays whatever deep-fried ASMR bullshit people keep putting on.
You know, I think that's par for the course when it comes to like games where you're playing with like where you're playing multiplayer. Especially if it's like a game where it kind of thrives off of socializing.
It's a very wholesome experience, and it helps you get emotionally invested with the other members of your
I was about to say,
very wholesome experience.
did they vomit? Okay, yeah, they did vomit.
And it helps you get emotionally invested
Why did you blow up?
members of your crew, which are often nice people. However, security is often staffed by egotistical megalomaniacs acting out their most depraved power fantasies. They are often not nice people. As
I mean, is that really a surprise though?
the result of their inherent propensity to be insane sociopaths, the rest of the crew will often rebel against their tyranny. In one such case, cargo had declared independence. Security refused to recognize the independent station state of
Fuck you.
Cargonia, so they tried to barge their way in and arrest everyone involved, including me. But security was unprepared for the trap we had in store. One officer rushed into cargo bay and slipped on a banana peel straight into the conveyor belt waiting for him. He tried repeatedly to get back up, only to be tripped again by an ocean of banana peels on the conveyor belt, which looped around in a circle, surrounding them.
That is a nightmare. Just imagine getting stuck in a loop, in a literal loop, and you can't get up, or you can't escape, let alone get up, because you keep tripping over a goddamn banana peel.
That circle was another circle, composed entirely of vending machines. The officer was also being brutally assaulted by several hundred cans of
I'm going to fucking shred you when I'm out. Bro. His name is literally Hitler. So bro slips on a banana peel and then gets pelted by soda cans.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Understandable. A pretty appropriate fate for someone called literally Hitler.
soda. The vending machines were hacked, and as a result, they would continuously fire drinks at whoever is in the area. Each officer that slipped into the banana belt got
God,
smashed
it's not
unconscious
just...
by a relentless stream of discount Dan soda.
Oh my god, it's not even just one. They caught like multiple people in this trap? Bruh.
Mark, all rights reserved. After extensive head trauma by our soda turrets, security reluctantly accepted Cargonia's independence.
Seeing that my retarded staff have failed in their attempts to restrain any of you, I must regrettably say, I literally don't give a fuck what you do here. Just get my men back and don't shit up the rest of the station. I mean, hey, a dub is a dub.
And their right to bear arms. If there's one department that has more revolutions than cargo...
Oh my. I saw that. I saw what that said. The subtitles is covering it, thank God. But, like, I saw what that said. Is that... What? Oh, no. No, get that... No.
It would have to be...
I was about to read that, but I was just like, no. Get the fuck out of my...
Science, and it's easy to understand why. We spend
Watch
our
this
lives
sick drift.
researching away for the good of a station, which does of course carry its own share of risks and hazards. Sometimes, accidents happen. Sooner or later, some bored and mentally challenged assistant will try and put a bag of holding into another bag of holding, and security can't always comprehend that we're not directly responsible for the resulting black hole eating through the kitchen.
How?
This lack of appreciation for the scientific profession usually ends with arrest warrants for the whole department, which is usually answered back with the words, "I'd like to see you try." But when we're not having a nuclear arms race with security, R&D is actually quite a chill department. I also made a great discovery last time I played there. Me and another scientist were messing around with blueprints and eventually made ourselves a pneumatic cannon. Normally, these are used to launch whatever items you have inside. What we didn't know was that it could launch food as well. I loaded a lasagna, aimed for the mouth, and fired it at my
No. No. Don't tell me. Don't tell me you're gonna force feed.
fellow researcher. The lasagna disappeared. What the hell? That's amazing, he said. We just realized what happened. I had just managed to remotely force feed my fellow man. But what do we do with this forbidden...
Oh no. No, 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 no. This might seem like a good thing, but this only opens the door to many a disasters.
knowledge? Nothing good, that's for sure.
I thought so.
Comrade got to work asking chemistry for hallucinogenic drugs. They said no. So we built our own chemistry dispensers, filled up the beakers with happy juice, and ran straight to the kitchen. We injected all the donuts and Hot Pockets we could find with as much LSD and mind-breaker toxin as they could hold. Then we loaded them into our food delivery system and started firing off at everyone in the hallways. The food was instantly delivered. The crew was instantly satisfied. Several people, including security
God, the crunching every time.
officers, managed to see the two small lines of text indicating that they've just been fed something. They thought it was extremely clever and said they didn't know the pneumatic cannon could do that. Since it was just a bit of harmless fun, we got off scot-free. Minutes later, the hallucination started. Crew members started screaming on the radio. Some were puking, shaking, or convulsing on the ground. Medical couldn't keep up with the
Get me out of here!
They piled on too quick, and most of the doctors were too busy fighting off non-existent entities to do anything about it. The chemist, who originally refused to give us LSD, was arrested by security on suspicion of intentional food poisoning. It was complete pandemonium, and I think it illustrates perfectly the chaos that is Space Station 13.
Yo!
That's all I have for you today, folks. There is, of course, more stories to tell, but we'd literally be here for hours. Space Station 13.
Listen, I would be down to hear hours of stories about this game, because this is hilarious.
A marvelous, unique, and incredibly shitty game. 10 out of 10.
But isn't that the beauty of it? You can make something wonderful amidst this shit.
And don't play it, because if you do, they're gonna blame it on me. And I hate having cum in my mailbox. As always, more
God, don't remind me of that.
So stay tuned. On other news, I started a Subscribestar account. So if
Oh my
you'd
God,
like
it's
to
an
invest and
ad.
don't want to give your money to Patreon, now you can. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild, generously funding
Yay.
and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
Yay! So that's that. That was nice. That was very nice. Holy moly. I I am truly in awe of what I had just witnessed. That seems like a game that I would cause so much chaos in if I ever got my hands on it. But I am not going to because one, Seth has insisted that we do not play it, even though he rates it a full 10 out of 10, a perfect score. But I mean, I understand. And frankly, I don't really have time to jump into games like that anymore. But I can at least take solace in knowing that this game existed and that this is the type of shenanigans that you could get into with a game like that. So, that's great. That's awesome. I love that. Ooh. All right. Anyways, with that being said, that will be all. So, I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is. But until then, bye bye.